and then warning him to not, I think Sarah said something like that, warning him to not say anything. That's interesting, isn't it? That shows that he knew this Gutierrez guy who's been fired, the rest of them should be fired, knew that something he was doing there was wrong. And to pepper spray him on top of it? I mean, and then this reference to ride the lightning, according to my researchers, that is a reference to the electric chair. What? What are you talking about the electric chair for? The guy, and by the way, just because they couldn't see the license, and the guy pulled over to a lighted spot also, a lit spot, which was smart of him to do. They should have been happy. You know, I mean, it's frustrating and disheartening to see this happening over and over again. It's just...
Megan, when you saw it, what went through your mind?
Well, Lieutenant Caron Nazario is an Army medic, and anyone that knows anything about Army medics knows that those are the people that are in, like, the real kind of intensity and insanity and war zones. They're people that literally deal with, you know, soldiers who have, like, their legs blown off and deal with IUDs. Like, it's a very intense, serious job. So for an Army medic to be obviously treated that way is beyond my comprehension, but it gets to the point in the video where he's actually on the ground weeping, and I can't imagine someone who is an Army medic, given the things that I am sure he has experienced and seen, being in a place where he's then crying on the ground and being pepper sprayed and treated like an animal, how bad and egregious and disgusting the incident was. I know what we saw in the video, but I'm sure there's more to it. I agree the language was very strange, like screaming at him, well, you're gonna be sorry, and he keeps saying, I'm scared, I'm scared. If I said I'm scared to a police officer, I hope they would say, there's nothing to be scared of, we're just trying to figure this out, we're just trying to work it out. And I think you can, believe in respect in the integrity of our law enforcement, and also recognize that there's serious systemic issues that have gone unchecked. And this is just not how we treat our veterans. It's not how we treat our soldiers. Anecdotally, I mean, I'm friends with a lot of people in law enforcement. I'm friends with a lot of people in the military. All the men in my family are in the military. Normally, there's like a sort of camaraderie between these two kinds of people. I just know my family's experiences when my brothers are out with police officers. A lot of times it's ex-military. So for those police officers in particular to treat a lieutenant Army medic that way, shame on them. And I echo what everyone says, they should be fired. And I hope that Lieutenant Caron Nazario gets everything he's asking for. I believe he's suing the Virginia Police Department right now.
By Paul Beckman, Paul Rainbow song created
Well, when we
April
come back,
12,
Sonny will weigh in on this. But let us not forget that a kid was shot, a 20-year-old kid was shot over this weekend, who was also 20 miles away from where Derek Chauvin did his craziness. We'll be right back.
Bob Hart's Abby Shola, all new tonight at 8:30, 9:30.
This song is going to be called More Police Brutality, When Will It Ever End? Using guitar chords F, B flat, and C. Well, I say more police brutality. When will it ever end? When will it ever end? Well, I say more police brutality. When will it ever end? When will it ever end? Well, there's too much, yes, there's too much police brutality going on, even in the climate of George Floyd, which was just a recent occurrence. All over the media now, and the court case going on. Well, I haven't seen the video, but I heard the girls on The View discussing it and saying a few words about military medic who got pulled over in his car by a policeman and threatened and pepper sprayed. He was saying he was scared. He was saying, please don't hurt me now. He was in a position of always being in danger in his very occupation. Medics are often on the front lines of war, having to go out in the battlefield and the fighting to bring back the wounded. Well, he must have policemen do to make him so scared and frightened he was weeping? Well, I say, creepy, man. Creepy, 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 creepy. Very, very creepy, creepy. Bad on you, bad on you. More police brutality, when will it ever end? No wonder protests are saying, make the police end. If all they're gonna do is show more and more examples of brutality within their ranks, then we don't need them at all. That's right. Well, when will the police brutality end? So the public can have faith in them again, because every instance of George Floyd experience with a bad cop or like this makes you wonder, why is this happening? In the climate of George Floyd, it should not be happening. Well, where do these renegade policemen come from, and why are they so paid to torture and harass the common human citizen? Well, I say, police brutality, you've got to end. And if you don't do that, the voices of the people are going to rise up and say, we don't need police at all if they're just going to show their brutality and act like brutes. Well, show their brutality now. You've got to make that mute. You gain control of the people and personnel that you employ, or you're going to see revolt against your whole core. Oh boy! Come on, get it together, powers that be. No more police brutality. Together, get it together, powers that be. No more police brutality. Otherwise, we'll have no more police. How would you like that? You're gonna have a police force. You're gonna have to show that people have faith in it more and more. But you will not have that if you have more George Floyd experiences with bad cops showing their brutality. Oh yeah, it's gotta stop. And like this instance here with this police dude. Fear-mongering a military medic. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on.
What needs to happen to protect people like this kid, who, for whatever reason the police stopped him, the end result is the kid is dead. What do we do?
Well, we need to do better. We need to do better as a society, as a country, because the black community is being terrorized by law enforcement, and that is just the truth of it. We talk about domestic terror in this country. This is domestic terrorism of the black community. When you talk about Daunte Wright, he was shot by police officers for an air freshener violation. He had air fresheners hanging from his rear view mirror, and he was pulled over for that and was shot and killed, and his body lay on the ground for hours while his mother cried on television, begging for them to take the body of her 20-year-old son off of the ground. And let's face it, would this happen to a white man? What happened to Lieutenant Nazario? Would this happen to a white male officer, a white male lieutenant? No, it would not. And the reason that you saw that reaction from Lieutenant Nazario is because what happened to 20-year-old Daunte Wright is what Lieutenant Nazario feared would happen to him. It is the fear as a black mother of a black child who now drives I have every time I see him get out of the car. We need to do better as a society, or get into the car rather. We need to do better as a society, because there is a racial pandemic going on here, domestic terrorism, and we need to start teaching our kids, those people who are saying there is no systemic racism, the cure is to not talk about race, the cure is to not talk about critical race theory. Well, they don't live in my world then. They don't live in my body. They don't live in the body of my father or the body of my son or the body of my husband. We should be ashamed that a lieutenant went through this, an Army lieutenant went through this. I'll tell you, his uniform may have saved his life, but it certainly did not save his dignity, and that is disgusting. And I have a legal note. The Brooklyn Center, Minnesota Police Department said in a statement that the victim was trying to evade arrest on an outstanding warrant, and an investigation is underway. They have asked the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to conduct an independent investigation of the incident.
And I believe there's another one.
Oh, I have another one. In a statement, the town of Windsor, Virginia, announced that Officer Joe Gutierrez was terminated from his employment. Officials said an internal investigation had determined that Gutierrez's actions were not consistent with the Windsor Police Department policies.
I mean, you know, this is insane that we have to keep justifying why this keeps happening. Y'all need to get yourselves together here. The police unions need to all sit down and decide who they're policing. Are they policing the streets? Are they policing themselves? You need to get, it's like a flat tax. Here's everything you can't do, regardless of where you live. You can't do it. It's crazy. And now we have to make an adjustment because we lost an amazing hip hop legend this weekend. Rapper and actor DMX. He passed. He was just 50 years old, you know, and he was fighting demons, but he was giving those demons a hell of a run, and he will be missed because he really was the voice of a time and a place and continued to make things better as he fought to be the man he always wanted to be. We will be right back.
Up next, a daytime exclusive. What does former Speaker John Boehner say led to the bad blood that's still boiling between him and Senator Ted Cruz? Why does he think Nancy Pelosi could be the most powerful speaker ever? And which congressman does he say literally put a knife to his throat? He's live on The View.
The Resident, all new, Tuesday at 8, 9 Mountain, only on